After I mentioned I'd be bringing my boyfriend home for the holidays, my sister-in-law flipped. She knocked over the table, pointed at my nose and shouted, "Lily, you were the one saying you'd never fall in love, never get married. So I went ahead and had a kid. And now when the child really needs money, you're planning to bail? Is your family just a scam? And when I tried to set you up with my brother, you refused right away. Now you're desperate enough to haul some guy home?" I looked at her, seeming a bit unhinged, and motioned to the mess on the floor. "Either apologize to me, or I'm making you eat all of this right now." She spat back, "Apologize? To you? Who do you think you are? My son is the heir to this family. Why should I apologize to you?" The words heir had my head spinning. To be honest, our family wealth isn't something that would need an heir. Dad is deeply into research. A few years back, he left for Antarctica with his team, and hasn't been involved with family matters since. Mom, preferring not to work, enjoys afternoon tea and beauty treatments. Her monthly spending money comes from me. My brother earning just enough to barely maintain his car. The money at home? It's all earned by me. I never expected my family to be grateful or anything, but I didn't think they'd raise a thankless person either. My sister-in-law knows our situation. Her notion of an heir was likely banking on me remaining single and childless, so her kid could inherit all that I've earned. Staring at the scattered food, I found myself lost in thought. How did it come to this? An hour earlier, I managed to finish work early today, and thought I'd join my mom for dinner. Right as I entered the house, my sister-in-law looked displeased. She was annoyed I declined a blind date with her cousin, claiming I was looking down on their family. She insisted that I should take her cousin to a Michelin-starred restaurant as an apology. I ignored her. So at dinner, I dropped the news that I was in a relationship and planned to bring my boyfriend home for the holiday. Her reaction was immediate. She slammed down her chopsticks and demanded why I didn't inform her about falling for someone else. If she hadn't thought I wouldn't date, which implied I'd support her child, she wouldn't have had a kid with my brother earning the little he does. I was dumbfounded. Was this child supposed to be for me? She fell silent, surprisingly more shocked than me, before flipping the table over entirely. The steaming dishes covered the floor. I thought for a moment. This was my mistake. Always giving without setting limits has made my sister-in-law think I'm an easy target. I stood abruptly, grabbed her by the hair, ready to press her down onto the mess. Who taught you to waste food? Let's see some traditional values. Apologize or eat the food, your choice. Who I date isn't your business. Maybe I've been too nice to you, you're not my mom. My mom was taken aback and started crying. What's going on here? Lily, let your sister-in-law go. No respect at all. I laughed. My mom had never seemed biased before, but now it was painfully obvious. Despite being the one insulted, my mom pegged me as the disrespectful one. I shook my head. I want her to apologize. Years of strength training made me quite strong. My sister-in-law couldn't break free, but her outrage was evident as she shouted, "Apologize to you? Keep dreaming. You all promise big with marriage, but deliver nothing. Since you're rich, shouldn't you support your brother's kid? Don't make me divorce your brother. You'll never see the kid again." I chuckled again, realizing how delusional she was. I love their child, but threatening me with not seeing him? That has less impact than slashing my car tires. Go ahead and divorce. If you don't, I'll really look down on you. You thought this threat would work on me? My mom lost it, forgetting that the threat doesn't work on me, but it does on her. She grabbed me urgently. Let her go. Apologize to her. You have that apartment in the school district you aren't living in, right? Just transfer it to her as an apology. It's for your nephew anyway. After all, that's a gesture as his aunt. I laughed, realizing they have been waiting for this moment. Mom, are you mistaken? That apartment was bought with my money alone, not a dime from the family. I'd never countered my mom in front of my sister-in-law before. I always thought respecting her in front of her daughter-in-law would earn her the same from others. My mom seemed displeased. How can you act like your money is separate from ours? I couldn't help but take a deep breath. So you're just casually asking for an apartment worth millions to be given away? If there's such a deal, could you loop me in? Meanwhile, Mom cooed at my sister-in-law, giving me a disapproving look. Remember, that's your nephew, His aunt should consider him. This aunt card always meant I had to fork out money. Before I helped out because my brother earned less, and they were grateful. But now things are out in the open. Do they still expect me to be their ATM? I stated flatly, Mom, you know what this fight is really about. I have a boyfriend now, and I might have kids of my own. Why would my money go to raise someone else's child? My sister-in-law shrieked. What do you mean, someone else's kid? That's your own nephew. Are you losing it? What do I have to admit to? My mom wasn't having any of it. Remember last New Year's, Mike wished for you to earn big to support him. And you agreed? The memory of New Year's, Mike pestering me for red envelopes. I obliged. And when he wished aloud at midnight for me to earn big money and spend it all on him, despite feeling uneasy, I laughed it off. It was New Year's and I didn't want to argue with a preschooler. I treated it lightheartedly. Little did I know the adults took it seriously. I got up and left the table, turning to look at my sobbing sister-in-law and my mom. Leave this, go ahead and chase your dreams. And that's how my mom and I started the silent treatment. About a week later, my brother showed up at my workplace with a meal my mom had cooked. He looked apologetic, saying, Mom told me, we don't need that house. Your brother has his own hands and feet. No way I'm taking your house from you, right? Our mom just loves Mike too much. You know how strict the school rules are these days. You need a home in the school district to get into a good elementary school. But it's fine. Mike can just go to any school. It's not necessary to go to a top one. If he can't get an education, he can just work. It's no big deal, right? It's not like his dad has any skills. I looked at the container of warm food in front of me. The more I listened, the more ridiculous it seemed. How did I never notice how convincing my brother could be? First, he states he doesn't intend to take advantage of me. Then he paints this grim picture of what might happen if Mike doesn't attend a top school. I pushed the food back to him. This meal is too pricey for me. If my sister-in-law hadn't reacted so harshly this time, I might still be blinding myself and acting as the family's ATM. My brother pretended not to understand and opened the container. You're still holding a grudge against your own mom? You know she loves you. Just eat it while it's hot. The food was all my favorites. But if it weren't for my mom's blatant financial demands this time, I wouldn't have thought she was being unfair. I feigned innocence, bro. I know you're not after my house. I'm not worried about that. Plus, I already have a buyer. I'm going to finalize the sale this Saturday. His face fell a bit, and all he said was, handle your house as you see fit. By Saturday morning, I was woken by loud knocking. Lily, open the door. I opened my eyes with a start, right in line with my expectations. After getting dressed, I opened the door to see my mom and sister-in-law dragging Mike into the hallway. My brother looked embarrassed. I let it slip to them, and they insisted on coming. My sister-in-law pleaded with Mike, do you want to go to school or not? Beg your aunt. Otherwise, she's gonna sell the house. You're her only nephew. Once you make it big, you should take care of her, understand? Mike, spoiled by my mom and sister-in-law, stormed right in and plopped down on my couch to play my game console. My mom trailed after him. Oh, my little darling, don't hurt yourself. Then she turned and looked at me. Lily, keep an eye on your nephew. My mom always downplayed our disagreements. But not this time. I grabbed my car keys. I'm heading out. You all should leave too. My mom chuckled. Where are you going? It's rare we're all here. Let's have lunch together. Felix, go get groceries. As Felix happily went to get groceries, my sister-in-law cooled down. I couldn't help but let out a sarcastic laugh. Mom, do you seriously think playing dumb will get you my money? If my sister-in-law hadn't been so quick to backstab me, I'd still be handing out holiday red envelopes to Mike. But now I told you to leave. Do you understand that? My sister-in-law turned red. How dare you say I'm the one in the wrong? I'm your sister-in-law. Respect your elders. I waved her off. Don't give me that eldest sister-in-law is like a mother nonsense. My mom's still alive, okay? I don't need you jumping to play mom. Plus, I have a boyfriend, and when we get married, I'll have a mother-in-law. Isn't 2 moms enough? My sister-in-law got frustrated, hitting my brother. Look at your great sister. My brother quickly tried to comfort her. No rush. We can make it work with the regular elementary school. If we don't have an education, we can still work. It's not the end of the world. My mom couldn't stand that, starting to tear up too. When we struggled with money, your dad's salary barely covered anything. Your brother had to go without school, and now he suffers for it. I can't let that happen to my grandson. We had enough when you came around. You got an education, made something of yourself, and now you're cold-hearted to your family? This house, you're transferring it today, right? Do it for your brother. We'll pay you back eventually. We're not taking your money. I quickly printed out an IOU. My house sold for $5 million. If I don't transfer today, I owe $300K in fees. This $3 million IOU, who's signing? How are we handling interest and repayments? Let's go to the lawyer together for it. That's the lowest price in our neighborhood. Don't say I'm overcharging you, but you shouldn't expect me to give it away either. Of course, my mom refused to sign and tore it up, scattering it in the air. An hour of maid service is $100, Mom. You handling it yourself, or sending me the money to hire? She fumed, ready to hit me. Lily, you're letting money come between us all? You have to give your brother the house. My boyfriend David appeared at that moment. As my mom was about to strike, his appearance delayed the commotion. Lily, what's going on? With David there, I didn't want to argue further and said sharply, don't make me call security. It won't look good. David glanced at my mom, figuring out the situation, and greeted her politely. She gave David a disdainful look. This your boyfriend? Scrawny as a stick. Hearing that made me furious. Since when did she change like this? Yes, like a stick. So what? Better than the 300-pound guy my sister-in-law tried to hook me up with, right? The one harassing me non-stop after adding my contact information, expecting a Michelin dinner. Have some shame. I continued, don't make me say more. Get out. Seeing I was genuinely mad, David held my shoulder. Ma'am, it's best you leave. I'll talk with Lily. My sister-in-law grabbed David. Where are we going back to? If not for you, our family wouldn't be like this. Because of you, she's now ignoring her own nephew. Being with a woman like this won't end well for you. If she can ignore her own family, how long do you think she'll like you? Not long before she kicks you to the curb. The more I listened, the more it made me want to throw up. I rushed to the kitchen and grabbed a knife, turning to my sister-in-law. Are you leaving or not? Don't fault me if your son gets hurt. I'll transfer the house to you, but there won't be a kid to attend school. Mike, after all, is just a kid. No matter how naughty, he was terrified by this situation. He cried loudly. Auntie is a bad person. I want Auntie to die. If she dies, her property is all mine. I'll hit Auntie. He said this as he rushed towards me. David hurried to protect me. There I was in his arms, holding the knife towards my own family. It was such a painful feeling. Mike is just a preschooler. His talk about death, he doesn't even understand life and death. He wouldn't know this stuff without adults talking around him. I don't believe it. But after all, he's just my nephew. I looked at my mom, still hoping for a bit, that she might stand up for me hearing these words. To my surprise, she just held Mike close and scolded Lily. Put the knife down. You scared Mike. If something happens to him, you and I are done. My brother also disapproved. Lily, what are you doing? Does making a scene make you happy? Mom's already old, why get into it with her? The episode stirred up the neighbors, who called security to take them away. After they left, I updated the access card for our home at the management office. The old ones can't open the doors anymore. David sighed. How did things get like this? I didn't know how to explain it all to David. Do I start with my sister-in-law trying to sell me out to my maternal cousin to suck me dry? Or from my mom forcing me to transfer the house deed for my nephew's schooling? David's the only child from our main client. He's way better off financially than I am. If we married, my assets would go up, and they'd find it easier to get money from me. But my mom was too impatient. Together with my sister-in-law, they ruined their chance to bleed me dry. Seeing me capable of going crazy in an emotional breakdown, even my mom wouldn't bother me anymore. But she and my sister-in-law still sometimes sent harassing messages. Lily, it's not like that. This is your nephew, linked to you by blood. Are you really going to deny him a good school for money? Mike grew up with you watching him, and you hurt his heart, and mine too. Are you really not sad? Can't you understand a mother's pains? Any family with 2 kids has to favor the weaker one. You're doing well. But what about your brother? He's less capable. Are you fine with him struggling? I simply replied, Reed. My sister-in-law was more intense. Lily, I warn you, transfer the house to us quietly. I can forgive your recent rudeness. If not, don't expect to see the child after I divorce your brother. You think I want that school district house? It's for your family's future. I don't even care for it. I laughed at that message while in a meeting, replied get lost, and deleted her in an instant. My mom thought I'd lost it. She wanted to come with my sister-in-law, but discovered the access cards wouldn't work anymore. A few days later, I was trending online. My sister-in-law wrote a lengthy post. She accused me of not respecting my parents, and even wielding a knife against family. Turns out, my brother had secretly recorded me that day, waving the knife and shouting at them. David got caught in the mix too. How dare you talk to your mom like that? Go ahead and off yourself. So many lunatics these days, pretty face but such a mess. No gratitude at all. If my kid was like that, I'd jump off a building. Running a company. That's why they say no business people are good. Leeches. David noticed the video before I did, and secretly took my phone, trying to shield me from the pain. But soon enough, my identity was revealed. A client called, asking me not to create a scandal during such a critical business period. Hearing the word scandal gave me an odd feeling. Without my phone, I turned on my computer, and sure enough was bustling. After responding to those who cared about me, I called my sister-in-law. Let's talk? She laughed. Busy person wants to talk now? Weren't you the one shouting back then? I ignored her sarcasm. You got one chance to talk now, or else I'll sell the company and emigrate. She couldn't sit still. Fine. You do know to come to us, right? The family is going to the hot springs this weekend. You should come home. Let's have a sit down. Looking at the hotel address in my phone, I had a plan. Weekend at the hotel. I got straight to the point. How do you plan to address the trending issue? She fiddled with her nails. What's the rush? I didn't lie about it. I turned to my mom. So you think I'm treating you guys badly? Abuse? Her face was awkward. If you transferred the house earlier to your brother, none of this would happen. We are family. After school, just give it back. Don't you trust us? I asked. If it were that simple, why didn't you want to write a loan note? Hearing this, she frowned. A loan note? Between family, what's that like? We're family, your money is. I rolled my eyes. My money's yours? Supporting you is my duty, but supporting my brother and his family too? My sister-in-law saw us arguing. Didn't you come here for a nice talk? Still upset? My brother tried to mediate. All right, we're family, why the fighting? It was clear nothing productive was gonna come out of that chat. In the end, everyone just went back to their rooms. I called up my dad. Over there, he was all caught up with his research. I told him about the situation at home and asked, are you gonna do something about this? But as always, he was all hesitant. Whatever your mom says goes, okay? He said, don't keep fighting with her, she's getting older. I hung up without a second thought. Growing up, it was always the women in my family doing the heavy lifting, while the men just sat back and enjoyed the perks. It's just the way it always was. When I was a kid, after Grandpa passed, my aunt tried to take Dad's apartment, and he just backed down, almost leaving us homeless. In the end, it was my mom who fought tooth and nail, even going to court to save the one place we had. Now my mom's still the same, and Dad's still timid. Except now, Mom's fighting for my brother's place. That night, I didn't sleep well. Half conscious, I felt a shadow looming over me, and then a pressing feeling of suffocation. I reached under my pillow, grabbed the knife I had ready and struck. A scream tore through the darkness. My mom and sister-in-law rushed in, only to find my sister-in-law's brother weakened on the floor. She screamed, what happened? How'd he get hurt? Call 911. Hurry. I sat there holding the knife. It's just a cut on his arm. You sure you want to call 911? If they come and someone reports it, it becomes a criminal case. Even if I later want to drop the charges, it's too late. She glared at me. You attacked him. If charges are filed, it'll be us doing it. You're headed to jail. I wiped the blood off the knife and pointed to my phone, which had been recording. He broke into my room late at night. Who gave him the key? Should I ask the B&B owner about this? Did you at least give him some incentive to take the fall for you? If not, I wouldn't suggest making this bigger than it is. She lost it, what's there to be careful of? My brother taking a liking to you is a blessing. Not just anyone walks into our family. If you don't appreciate that, and even dare to harm him, we're not done. I turned to her brother. You think breaking in and trying to assault me isn't a reason for self-defense? I'm not risking much. If you want to call 911 and want a trial, be my guest. Her brother, being educated, understood the implications. With a pale face, he tugged at my sister-in-law. She held him tight, declaring, if anything happens to him, your family won't find peace. I suggested, how about we settle this? Delete your posts, apologize publicly, and I'll let it slide. Otherwise, if your brother ends up in jail, will your parents forgive you? Who knows? In her mind, her brother's even more important than her own kid. Maybe it's deep-seated manipulation or something. If there was only one school zone seat, she'd possibly rather give it to her brother. My mom just cried, repeating, how did it come to this? Our family wasn't like this. Hearing this was irritating. You don't know how it came to this? If you really cared about your grandkid, why didn't you earn the money yourself? Did you have me just to make money for him? And when I refused to be your puppet, you try to sell me out, allowing them to hurt me? Sure, today I'm okay, but if I wasn't, how many tears would you shed for me? Mom froze. I'd never let anything happen to you. You're my daughter. I'd never let you get hurt. Yeah, I knew she wasn't lying, she just didn't love me enough. I wasn't ready to expose her scheme with the others yet. I promised my sister-in-law not to call the cops. She left cussing. You really think things will work with David? I heard his family's way better off than yours. When he dumps you, don't come crying. Treat Mike like this, and he'll never call you aunt. I shot a look like she was nuts. If you don't scram, I'm calling the cops. She shut right up. David found out and was so pissed. You don't trust me? You're pulling stunts like that on your own? Watching him all worked up gave me this odd feeling. I never expected anything from him, since the men in my life always stayed silent and in the background. I hugged him. Okay, next time I'll remember. He hugged back even tighter. My sister-in-law took down the videos, vaguely said she misunderstood me, kept things vague, saying I was pretty generous either way. She never mentioned I bought the house myself. Anyone would think I took over my parents' place. People in the comments thought she got threatened by me, still rallied for her. The poor blogger can't marry into a family with siblings. This sister-in-law's something else. Doesn't help her nephew? What's she good for? Since the house is hers now, don't count on the wife for future care. David read the comments, got all upset. He made an account to argue, but got banned for foul language. I laughed holding him. Don't stress, alright? The company's thinking of moving anyway. Let's go. I'd always hesitated to expand, because Dad wasn't around, and Mom was all by herself. The fallout gave me the push to break free. When I took the team to Australia, I posted a compilation video. In the video, 3 people are sitting at home, having a heated discussion. Sister-in-law, I found out that David is a rich kid. Can he treat Lily well in the future? He'll just get bored and dump her eventually. Think about how heartbroken Lily will be. My brother is a better choice. Our families could be connected by marriage. Mom, somewhat hesitant. I'm not okay with anything that would hurt Lily. My brother, speaking up for once. Once things become serious, we'll be able to distance her from David. We don't want such people in our family. Plus, my wife's brother is known to us. Isn't that better than some spoiled rich kid? We're just looking out for my sister. Mom, didn't you always want her to find someone reliable? Money shouldn't be the priority right now. My mom, slightly persuaded. Alright, but it has to be done with care. Lily must not be hurt. Once everything is set, I can finally be at peace. My sister-in-law finally smiles. Mom, don't worry. Lily will not only be my sister-in-law but also my sister. How could I not treat her well? But about that school district house, you should mention it to Lily. Mike is her real nephew after all. For Mike to have a bright future, our family needs to thrive. Soon after, the footage from my house security showed them coming over to force me to transfer property and threatening me about my sister-in-law's brother moving in as a tenant. That shut the internet folks up. How could a mom allow someone to threaten her own daughter? My brother and his wife are something else. Not just living off their parents but exploiting the younger ones too? Regretting ever defending them online is now my online regret. My sister-in-law quickly deleted her account. But I already sent the clip to her workplace's public email. Didn't want people to miss out on this drama. By the time I landed, my parents' texts flooded my phone. I picked up my dad's call. Lily, what's going on? You've stressed your mom to the point of illness. Where are you? Why haven't you answered the calls? My dad confidently scolding me for causing all this trouble at home. I sarcastically replied, Dad, you really live up to the role of a biological father, only caring about procreating, not raising. Since I graduated, I've been supporting this family. I don't mind supporting Mom, but do I have to support your son and grandson too? If being a man were that easy, I'd choose to be one in my next life. I've done enough for this family. Don't expect anything more from me. With that, I ended the call. Called Mom next. Mom, I'll send you your support money on time, but not a penny more. The insurance papers in the TV cabinet, only you, Dad, and brother benefit from them. Can you honestly say you've been fair? You love me, but not that much. So don't expect much money anymore. The properties back home? I've sorted them out. If you want them, consider whether the law is on your side first. Don't contact me again. If you do, I don't know what crazy thing I might do. Thank you for finally giving me the courage to make my escape. My dad, at a loss, had to retire from work. But he was used to being taken care of. My mom had no choice but to deal with a demanding husband. They argued loudly enough for everyone in the building to hear. My brother and his wife eventually divorced. Previously, the money I sent my mom would be discreetly given to my brother, making him look like a mini-rich kid. Once I stopped, he couldn't even afford to maintain his car. He resorted to online loans to maintain his high lifestyle. Debt collectors came knocking at the door. Without hesitation, my dad tore his page from the household registration, cutting ties with him. My mom cried helplessly, but had no money to clear her son's debts. She cursed my dad as selfish. I felt no surprise when the neighbors relayed this story to me. The men in my family are self-centered and weak. They only care about themselves. When there's trouble, they're quick to save their own skin. Otherwise, my dad wouldn't have spent so many years in Antarctica, just to live an easy life away from it all. Unable to save her son, and obey her husband, my mom still had to take care of her demanding husband. Eventually, when my dad had a mild stroke, Mom opted not to treat him. After he passed, she sold the house to pay off her son's debts. My sister-in-law didn't want custody of their son. She still had a brother to support. Taking her son would make it harder to remarry. Her parents, upon learning this, yelled at her and sent her back into the dating scene. My sister-in-law continuously harassed me on social media. I oddly enjoyed updating her about how well my life was going. She fired back with censored language and frustration. I was curious why she held such hostility toward me. Honestly, I've been good to you. Why are you so fixated on me? For once, she replied without insulting me. Isn't helping your siblings just the right thing? You're really spending your money on outsiders instead of your family? Turns out, that's her right thing, not mine. If not even your parents care for you, but you still insist on supporting your brother, aren't you just being foolish? Always playing the martyr. How does it feel when they don't even care to help you? She didn't reply. It didn't matter if she got it. She could never reach me across the distance now. Lily, hurry up. I looked toward the yard. David and the team beckoned with smiles. From now on, I'll live just for me. The end.